I just want to mention, especially to I guess the newcomers here, is that what Brother Sadat has gone through, it's all like very valuable information to know. But do know that you don't, in 90% of the cases, you're not really even using a lot of these arguments, because what you're doing is you're just having a conversation on a very human level, and you're there to just do your obligation of conveying Islam, and that's all you're doing. So, for example, when I'm on the street and when I meet people, so our shift is 11 to 1 here in Turkey and Dundas. So when I'm out in the morning, I'm greeting people. "Oh, good morning, how are you doing?" I'll have my favorite pamphlet on Islam to share with others. So I'll go to them. Would you like to take this information concerning Islam? We're just trying to bring awareness concerning Islam to the community. Some people might take it, some people may not. Some people will stick around and have a conversation with you. And that's when I would kind of like ask them, so what do you think I'll try to start a conversation on the purpose of life. So what do you think the purpose of life is, right? And then a lot of them would they say, oh, being good to your fellow man and etc. So then I would say, okay, so what we're bringing forth is, and this is the way I do it. Brother Sadat probably has a different style. We all have different styles of kind of talking about the purpose of life. So the way I go about it is I go, well, we know that from nothing comes, right? And I take a very systematic approach, and they'll say, yeah, I know that. Okay, well, and the universe is something, therefore it comes from something, right? And then I go on to say, now if we look at the universe, we see creativity, we see intelligence, and we see conscious beings like you and me that make up the universe. They'll agree, right? Then I say, which tells you that the very something that you've acknowledged exists that's brought about the universe must be intelligent, creative, and conscious, as it's brought about creative, intelligent, and conscious beings to be. They'll agree. Then I go on to say that now, does it not make sense that we abide by what this creator demands of us, instead of what society demands of us, instead of what other people demand of us? Because the creator knows you more than you know yourself. They'll agree. Then I go on to say, well, in Islam, the claim is that the Quran is that guidance from the very creator that you acknowledge exists, containing guidance to get at that peace and tranquility in this life and in the hereafter. Then that'll spark an interest in them, and usually I'm holding copies of Quran in my hand as well. They'll happily take the pamphlet from me. In a lot of cases, they'll also even happily take the Quran from me, because what's happened is it sparked an interest in them, and wow, I like to look into this, right? And you've done your job. That's your job. Like as in terms of duties to perform as a Muslim, you've done your duty. You just conveyed, and now it's for them, and it's between them and Allah to see if they will be guided. And that's it. That's all you're doing. So I just wanted to make sure that it's not a complicated thing we're doing when we're on the street.
Oh, yeah.
We're having a very very human level conversation, and all we're doing is just conveying the message of Islam for them to consider, and you've done your job.
Yeah, I agree.
So we're not having debates on the street. It's not like that at all. So I just want to make that clarification. Before I started doing street dawah, I thought, oh wow, I'd be barraged with all these questions. No, it's actually you who's directing the conversation, and that's all. That's all you're doing.
Let's put it this way. Dundas Square is busier than here in Ontario and Dundas, so we have a lot of people in the summertime walking by. I would say out of 1,000 people walking by, maybe 100 will take a book or a pamphlet from us. Out of 1,000, maybe there's 100 that take a book. Out of that 100, maybe 10 will stop to have a conversation. And that conversation will be very much along the lines of what you just described. Mm-hmm. Or they might have one or two specific questions. They're not coming to attack you, they're just asking you, like, could you explain the hijab to me? Or can you explain how is Iran different? What's Sunni Islam and Shia Islam? So your general knowledge will help you in these cases. And then out of those 10 that have a conversation, maybe there's one. In other words, there's one out of 1,000 maybe that wants to debate and is asking you for proof for this, that, and the other. So definitely, the arguments that I gave you, like I said, I give you that martial arts analogy. You go to a martial arts class and they teach you 100 different martial arts moves. Hopefully, maybe you won't have to use any of those moves on the street. But it's just good to have it in your arsenal in case.
The other thing is, when you're on the street, people don't want to stand and be lectured to. They want to have a conversation.
Exactly.
So the first point is, like Brother Zishan said, you give them the pamphlet. And if you want to start a conversation, you say, do you know much about Islam? Do you believe in God? And then you tap into what their sensitivities are, or what their key hurdles are to God or to Islam, and you address those hurdles to bring them closer to the deen.
Today I felt there was a dawah opportunity lost because there was, a janazah happening, when we arrived here at Dhuhr time. And there were quite a few non-Muslims who were outside here in the hallway. There were two that were at the front. And maybe they felt that, out of respect, they're praying now, so we'll leave. But if I was the one who brought them, I would definitely, I would give them a whole seminar on Islam. But at the very least, I would have said, hey, listen, you're welcome to stay in the prayer room. We can put a chair for you. You can just sit at the back and observe. You can just watch. Just watching the salah is a powerful thing. If I had to choose between them listening to my whole presentation or just watching the salah, man, just watching the salah is a powerful thing,